Next up, podcast listeners, we have welcome to dystopian California. Bees are considered fish in California. So welcome to dystopian California. Bees are now fish. This is the New York Post, okay? In the New York Post. In an only in California decision, an appeals court, of course it's a court, by the way, always a court making law. An appeals court in the Golden State of California has ruled that some types of bees are now legally considered to be fish. The head-scratching decision by the Court of Appeals has hailed by proponents as a win for the bumblebees. What did you say, Chris?
It sounds like satire. It sounds like you're reading a satire article.
It's like the Babylon bee, yeah. Right? The Babylon bumblebee, you know?
Babylon fish.
The Babylon fish. The head-scratching decision by the Court of Appeals in California was hailed by proponents as a win for bumblebees. It reversed a lower court's ruling in favor of agricultural interests who argued the state's Endangered Species Act protected only birds, mammals, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and plants, not bees or other insects and bugs. The decision was a victory for environmental groups and the state's Fish and Game Commission, which had pushed to list 4 bumblebee species as endangered. The court, in its opinion, gave the commission the right to list invertebrate species like the bees as endangered, even if they're not aquatic animals. The judge wrote that although the term fish is colloquially and commonly understood to refer to aquatic species, the law makes the legal definition of fish not so limited. Matthew Sanders of Stanford Law School's Environmental Law Clinic hailed the decision as a win for the bumblebees, all imperiled invertebrates in California and the California Endangered Species Act. Insects are foundational to California's agricultural production and healthy ecosystems, he told Reuters. Sanders' clients, the Xerces Society of Invertebrate Conservation, Defenders of Wildlife, and the Center for Food Safety petitioned the Fish and Game Commission in 2018 to add Crotch's bumblebee, Franklin's bumblebee, and Suckley cuckoo bumblebee and western bumblebee to the state's endangered species. And the way they did that was, as you just heard, a court, okay, not a legislature. What? The court decided they're actually fish. They're actually fish. Bees are fish. The commission designated the 4 as candidate species, providing them interim protections while considering whether to classify them as endangered. However, the Almond Alliance of California, the California Farm Bureau Federation, and 5 other agricultural groups filed a lawsuit in Sacramento County Superior Court in a bid to clarify that it does not protect insects. In 2020, the Superior Court ruled the law's reference to invertebrates had to be read in context and included only aquatic animals. Paul Weiland of Nossaman, lead counsel for the agricultural group, said his clients are disappointed and reviewing their legal options. And by the way, this was also in Fox News as well, not just the New York Post, and obviously in plenty of other California papers. But you notice how you never read this? It's like this is one of those articles you just never read because you think that, well, it's not really going to affect me because, and here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, the same judges, of course, who think it's okay to classify bees as fish are just like the same people in California who think that men can become women and women can become men and that your pronouns should be they or their, even though you're a one person. You know, it's like, no, you're either over there, but you're not there. You're not, you know, that's not your pronoun. And you're not there, T-H-E-I-R. But that's the way it is in California as well as in so many other parts of the country because, you know, bees can be fish and men can be women. I mean, why not? What's next, right? This is what happens in Marxism. In the early stages of Marxism, you make the language meaningless by confusing people. And then in the mid stages of Marxism, you start laughing at it because you think, well, it's really not going to affect me because I'm going to think what I want to think. And then the advanced stages of Marxism, people start disappearing and they start going to the gulag and they are murdered because they're not on board with the language being completely trashed and completely being removed. And this is why these things matter, ladies and gentlemen. It matters for darn good reason. And that's why we should pay attention. And it's why we should fight.